Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the good, the bad, and the awesome for Datacron Set 26 Bounty Protocol. But I'll just warn you right now, there's not too much awesome about this set. In fact, it's probably the worst set I've seen in a very long time. There's an argument that it's the absolute worst set I have ever seen. And it's the first of a rotation of Datacrons where they're going to last only 3 months, so it's going to expiring in 89 days. So that's under 3 months, and we haven't even got a chance to farm it yet. So this is buggy all over the place. Like, this is just bad news all over the place. We have 90 days, and we haven't had a conquest start to farm it. That won't be for several days. So all in all, you'll have it for 80 some days. It's supposed to last for 3 seasons. And since it's only 3 seasons, it's actually more of a 3v3 Omicron. We're wrapping up 5v5 now. So we're going to have it for 3v3, then 5v5 once, and then 3v3 again. So this is a disaster, by the way. I think it's such a bad idea to have it a new one every month. If you haven't seen my other video complaining about it, a new one every month. You have 1 conquest to farm it. Only lasts 3 months. It still costs the same to upgrade it. This set is also more gated by relics. So this is one of the worst sets I've ever seen, and I am almost going to just completely not engage with it much, or engage with it maybe 10 to 15% of the level I have for other sets. So this month, I'm not doing a presentation on. Next month, I will get back to the standard, the good, bad, and the awesome presentation with graphics and everything, but this month, it just felt like I don't have time to dive into the whole presentation for a set that I think is completely terrible. Now, all that said, let's start with stats as normal. There's several good stats. One awesome stat, I'd say, by comparison, and a couple bad stats. So the bad stats are crit chance and health steal. I typically always say that these are bad. Health steal, it's just because the amounts they're giving you are so low, and it's so situational. You have to have all your protection gone, or just be getting hit under your protection. And at that point, you need a large amount of health steal to get your health back, and we just don't have large amounts. Set 1 of Datacrons, you could get up to 100% health steal in 1 roll, or something like that. Level 1 to 2. People had 5, 6, 700% health steal. It was ridiculous, and they over-nerfed it, so it's completely terrible. Crit chance is more of a threshold thing. It's high numbers, but if you have a character that's doing a lot of damage anyway, typically they're a character that is closer to 100% crit chance. There's a few exceptions, like, Men Solo. Special damage dealers are less likely to have a lot of crit chance, so maybe you could have a little bit in there, but it's just one of the ones you reroll alpha. The 3 or 4 go, well, potency is situational. If you have a team that wants potency, they can make great use of it, but it's like borderline bad. I typically reroll off of it for most of my Datacrons if I see it. And then the good one's health, crit damage, and armor pen. Armor pen is only for physical damage, which is most of the characters in the game, but crit damage is going to be getting you extra damage across the board, and health is just, everyone needs health. The only awesome stat I'd say is protection, just because the numbers they've given us are so crazy, and I'm pretty sure it's bugged, because normally it matches the health numbers. So for the level 7 to 8 bonus, we have health at 20 to 30% per roll. Protection is 35 to 45, so the floor is 5% higher than the ceiling for health. So you could just roll twice. If you got the max, it's 90%. I know it's unlikely, but like, just to set a maximum value we could have, that's 90% as opposed to 60% for health. At 4 to 5, it's also much higher. Health is 10 to 20%. Protection is 25 to 35%, which is an insane difference. And then this is what makes me think it's bugged. Level 1 to 2, it's the same again, 5 to 10%. So you could get a max total of 180% protection. So if for no one else, JML is worth getting a maxed out protection cron from this set. Otherwise, it has nothing going for it over the old set, like the most recent set we have. And by the way, that set is going to be expiring. Oh, they reset it. Okay. No, we have 2 more seasons with this set. So you have a couple more seasons with this to get you through. You don't have to worry about that dusting super, super quickly. I was thinking we just had it for 1 season, but we've had it for 2. So we have that for a couple more sets, and it's just pretty much better in every way than this set on stats and everything else. So that is stats. On to alignment bonuses. And by the way, we only have 2 factions. Each faction locked behind an alignment. So dark side will get you bounty hunters. Light side will get you droids. So nothing blowing me away from the level 3s. We have 5% offense stacking when you have at least 2 buffs that can be dispelled. We have a chance for reducing cooldowns. It's probably the best one. And then crit chance, crit damage up, and offense up for 2 turns when you do a basic. That's outer turn or on your turn. So these 2 are the ones to go for, number 2 and 3. If you have a big debuff team, you could be using this one with the cooldown reduction. Like Lord Vader, of course, only for like a month you might be using this one, depending on what's in the next 2 sets. And then the crit chance up, crit damage up, offense up. If you're going for a dark side Quran, you're going to want to pick one of those 2. The rest are terrible. I mean, it went to evade and attack offensive for 1 turn, big whoop. Recover 2% health when you crit an enemy, just not enough to matter. Light side mechanics, a couple decent ones. We got the 25% turn meter again. I mean, that's a really high quality one, so that's probably the default that you should go for in general, unless there's a compelling reason otherwise. This 2% max health damage from debuffing an enemy. This can help a couple of teams charge ultimate faster, like Legend Leia or Jabba. But that said, they have other datacrons in the current set. That's gonna be a lot better. And then the other really good one, I'd say this is awesome as well. I said the 25% turn meter and this one are awesome. Reaching 75, 50, and 25% health thresholds grant protection up 50% for 2 turns. So it's just a little bit of a bailout mechanic, extra survivability. I think these 2 are really awesome, and if you have a really tanky character, that's going to make it quite annoying, such as Ezra Bridger Exile. And then, of course, if you have like a JMK team or a team that's not making use of turn meter, this is going to be the way to go as well. But just remember, for factions, this is going to lead you to droids. Dark side, this is going to lead you to bounty hunters in the set. Oh, and before we move on further, just a note on focus datacrons. If you were wondering where your focus datacrons were in the episode shipments, why we're still seeing the old ones, there is no focus datacrons, or there are no focus datacrons for this blue set. Meathead said in Discord somewhere on the event server that they will return for the next set, so there are no focused datacrons for Bounty Protocol whatsoever. Contributing yet again, or yet even more so, into why it's one of the worst sets I have ever seen. Because, I mean, plenty of sets, like, focus datacrons are pretty new. But we've come to expect them with these current sets. And that's a lot of the value of the set. And just most of the set just doesn't have much going for it. Just like the level 3s for most characters. Bounty Hunters and Droids aren't super deep, diverse factions. It's just not a great set. Now for the Bounty Hunter faction mechanics, there are 3 bad mechanics, 1 good one, and 1 awesome one. So the 3 bad ones are these middle ones. If you haven't taken damage since your last turn, get crit chance and offense up 1 turn, big whoop. We're getting that from basics anyway. Quickly hitting an enemy gains 10% offense for 2 turns only. If that was just indefinite, that might be okay. Attacking out a turn gives a 25% chance to remove 10% turn meter. It's just too low of a chance and too low of an impact. The good one is while they have full health and protection at the start of their turn, deal 100% more damage. That's going to be good right from the get-go. Like you start out, if you're going first, you're doing a lot more damage. However, the awesome one has a lot more potential to it, but it is still more limited than a lot of these other good datacrons we've seen. When a bounty hunter inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they gain 30% offense up to 300% until the end of the battle. So think of like Boushh Leia, Boba Fett, Jango Fett. Jabba obviously doesn't matter. Well, he does damage when he throws his bomb. Resisting debuffs only gets you potency up, so that just helps you get the debuffs the next time. But that's quite a high ceiling compared to normal. It doesn't do a ton of other stuff. Like we've come to expect a super wordy datacron that does a lot, but this does have some potential to it. So if you are going to be rolling a Chrono for bounty hunters, I highly recommend this one, unless you're doing a team that doesn't do many debuffs at all, in which case you'd go for the 100% extra damage, but definitely the 300%. For droids, I wouldn't say any of them are totally awesome, although this top one is awesome for like General Grievous. At the start of each droid ally's turn, inflict target lock for 1 turn, which can be resisted to a random enemy. Whenever a droid uses a basic ability on an enemy with target lock, they gain 10% protection, 5% turn meter. So it doesn't say on their turn. So if they're assisting and doing a basic on someone with target lock, you're getting turn meter. So that's why this is so good for General Grievous. That's leading to a bigger turn meter loop. So that's really who it's kind of built for. I think we've had similar iterations of this in the past, if not identical. But that's really kind of just one team for it. Afra might get a little bit of a benefit from this, but not a ton. This one, the next two are kind of good. They're kind of okay. They're like decent. At the start of their first turn, droid allies gain offense equal to 400% of their current defense. The numbers here aren't as straightforward as they seem. It's not like you're going to get a massive increase to your offense. It translates on a lot of characters to like maybe 20, 30, 40% extra offense. Maybe more. It's not crazy. It's not like quadrupling or quintupling your offense, but it is decent. It's just extra damage at the cost of taking more damage yourself. The other one is targeting an ally with an ability during your turn gets 5% defense, max health, max protection, offense. This one's barely okay. It takes a long time for this to get off the ground. It just, I don't know. I don't think there's a super compelling Datacron on the droid setup, because also remember we have to have a light side level 3. So if you're even trying to run a Grievous team, you're going to be doing this without a level 3 bonus for the team. It just doesn't add up. So not so great. And then the last two are kind of trash. Whenever a droid recovers health, they recover protection equal to that amount. If they fall below 50% health, all droid allies reduce equivalents by 1, gain 10% turn meter. We see this one all the time, not impactful. No one chooses to go for it. So it's just not great options from the faction abilities, leading more to my original contention that this is a very skippable, lackluster set. And on to the level 9s. There's also not too much good stuff in here to look at. We'll start with the bounty hunters, and IG-88, yes, does count as a bounty hunter, not a droid for this set. You cannot roll him if you have a droid level 6. For Aura Singh, whenever she stuns an enemy, gains 10% crit damage up to 200, and 5 speed up to 50 till the end of the encounter. That's not good. It takes way too long to get going. It's every time she stuns. She can stun, decently often, but it's still single target stun, so it takes at max 1 per turn. Then you're gonna have to wait a little bit to get more stuns. Just not impactful. Just not good. ID-88. This one's actually decent. It would be hard to make a team work super high around this, but it's not locked to bounty hunters. It's giving out 50% crit chance, crit damage, and 20% turn meter. So there's a lot of things in this set that are written very poorly. They're not written in a very technical sense, and they don't make it clear what's happening or when. It's almost like someone that doesn't play the game was writing these, and that's not normally the case. Like, for cynical people that want to say, oh, of course, CG being CG, that's not usually the case. They don't make slip-ups like this so often. So for crit chance, crit damage, that's a steady state of being. It's just a stat you have. You don't have to say when. But turn meter, it has to be a when. It's a temporary thing. You get 20% turn meter once. So all allies gain it. I assume it means at the start of the battle. 20% turn meter. I assume that's not how it's written, but that would make sense. They are immune to ability block until the end of the encounter. That's also weird writing. Just saying they, like, I know it's referring to all allies, or it should be. It's just weird to say that they are immune to ability. Like, it's just a weird way to write these datacrons. Whenever an ally scores a critical hit, inflict a stack of damage over time for 2 turns. So that one actually is written and it makes sense. You get more dots. But the big value of this is some extra crit damage and a decent starting point. Say you have a light side team. Well, you can't have a light side level 3 for this, so never mind. I don't know. It's going to be hard to find a use case for that. Now we go down to Fennec Shand. The first time she goes below 100% health, recover 100% health and protection, gain 100% turn. It's not good. It's a big whoop kind of thing. Fennec is not super relevant, and this does not make her just super useful in any way. Forlom. Whenever Forlom inflicts a debuff, recover 25% health and max protection. 25% of their max health and max protection. So it's also weird to say max health and max protection there. Normally you just say 25% health and protection. Like, you usually say max health and max protection when you're either increasing the amount of max health and max protection you're getting, or something is based off your max protection to recover. It doesn't make sense to recover max health, max protection. But also, since it's limit once per turn, it's not a good ability. It's just not. Zuckuss. This one is one of the biggest examples of poor writing where it doesn't make sense. It could be a good Datacron. I don't think it's awesome or blowing me away. Whenever Zuckuss uses a special ability, all allies gain protection up for 2 turns. What's something missing here? How much protection up? We don't know. Like, there's everything ranging from 10% protection up to like 100% or more. How much protection up? Who wrote this? Zuckuss calls a random bounty hunter ally to assist. Okay, when does he call someone to assist? I assume it's part of this previous action whenever he is using a special ability, which it should be written, whenever he uses a special ability, all bounty hunter allies gain protection up 50% for 2 turns, and Zuckuss calls a random bounty hunter ally to assist. All allies gain foresight for 2 turns, separate clause. This is insane. This is written so badly. Is it when he does a special? Is that the beginning of the turn? At the beginning of the battle? I don't know. Is it when he takes a turn? Is it when it, like, I assume it means when he does a special, all these things happen, which is pretty good. But this is written so poorly. It's just so baffling to me. The decisions they've been making and who's writing these. Like, it makes no sense. All right, enough hating on the writing of the bounty hunter abilities. Onto the light side droids. BB-8. So this one's okay. I don't know how valuable it makes BB-8. In mid-game, I could see you making something work with a Jedi Training Ray team. BB-8 gains 15% turn meter when other allies use a special ability on the turn. It's okay. It's not doing too much. But you're going to need, as it stands now, a Relic 6 BB-8 for that to work. The whole team Relic 6, so I don't know. I'll show that in a second to complain about that more. 3PO and Chewie. Whenever they're dealt damage, reflect 20% of the damage back on the attacker's true damage. Can't be evaded. That can't defeat enemies. That's okay. Honestly, I don't care about. Like, I am agnostic of whether I'd care about it being on there or not. If I'm on offense and controlling the tempo, hopefully that doesn't come into play much anyway. And 20%, that's not going to be a significant amount. Like, if someone does an amount that kills you completely, you're only going to scratch them or make a dent. And on defense, they could probably just recover that amount of protection or damage easily. So I think it's whatever. It's skippable. I don't know. IG-11. Whenever they inflict a debuff, they recover 25% max health and protection once per turn. So it's not good. It's not that valuable. IG-11. This is not IG-12 and Grogu. This is IG-11. Just the droid that goes with, I don't know, Queel. It's bad. Like, it doesn't make IG-11 worth using at all. Chopper. This one it's good. I wouldn't say it's awesome. It could be awesome. It has potential. Whenever a Phoenix ally takes damage, all Phoenix allies gain 30% max health and 30% offense for 1 turn. So it says max health is stacking. It doesn't say offense is stacking. I assume offense is not stacking then, since they have stacking for max health. But also, yeah, gaining the max health, I guess they could just lose it after 1 turn. It makes it easier to withstand a barrage of hits to get around to your other turn if you're getting all this max health, because Chopper is also giving protection up. There's unique as well. Chopper ignores taunt. Whenever Chopper takes damage while taunting, he recovers 50% damage or protection. All Phoenix allies gain 50% turn meter to the end of 2 turns. Which is another example of poor writing. So, a couple of good things here. Recovering 50% protection while taking damage is like Houndstooth on steroids or something. It's your actual protection. Unless they have doubt on you or something to prevent you from recovering protection, every little hit, you're recovering a lot. So, you'd have to get killed with large hits, not little hits. Phoenix allies gaining 30% turn meter until the end of 2 turns. This is what makes no sense. None of this makes any sense. So It's recovering protection. It's not gaining max protection. And then turn meter. Until the end of 2 turns. What does that mean? What does that actually modify? After 2 turns, are you going to lose your 30% turn meter? I don't think so. We've never seen anything like that happening. Are you going to lose that protection you recovered? That doesn't make sense. If you gain max protection, like this makes sense. Gaining 30% max health for 1 turn. At the end of the turn, maybe your health pool was 100,000 and went up to 130,000. After the turn's over, you go back to 100,000. Recovering protection is not like that. If you had 25,000 out of your 100,000 protection, you recovered 50%, you'd be up to your 75,000 protection. And then what, do you lose that after 2 turns? That doesn't make sense. There's no buff or off it. Like, it does not make any sense. There's no stats increased. It's so poorly written. It's insane. It blows my mind. C-3PO, this one's actually good. I wouldn't say it's awesome. But whenever you use the basic bonus turn, other allies gain 25% turn meter. Okay, another poorly written thing. All other allies? I assume so, but usually it's always been written all other allies. Right now it just says other allies. Which one? A couple? 2 or 3? 2 random allies? Gain 25% turn meter. It's good, but it requires him using a basic on his turn, which he does, but it's like like 1 out of 3 turns you're not going to be getting that benefit, and it's not when he attacks out of turn. If it was, that would be turn meter loop territory. But as it stands, it's just okay. Hu Yang. This is probably the most relevant ability in the whole batch for level 9s because it goes to a good team. It's cookie cuttering your team, though. If General Syndulla, Padawan Sabine, and Ezra Bridger are allies, okay, so no Watt on the team, no Silka Fulcrum, no anything, and no splitting off your Ezra to Rey. They gain 40% offense, 40% crit damage, and 40% defense penetration for 2 turns. And they each assist. Okay. So it's for 2 turns. So, okay, those will be a great 2 turns. You get some extra stats. That's not amazing. But what does this mean? Okay, when he uses special ability. Never mind. Okay, so that actually makes sense. Forgive me. I was getting ahead of myself. When he uses special ability, they gain all that. So that's actually a lot. So you're going to be stacking that up. So on each of his turns, he's juicing people up. So he can take a turn, give them 40% of everything, take a second turn, give them 40% of everything. So they'll have 80% at least for 1 turn, maybe 2. And they each assist. So that's a lot. That's actually awesome. This is an awesome ability. Everyone's going to be assisting Hu Yang. They're going to get steroids. If Ahsoka Tano, GL. This is also just a very weird moniker here. It's just sloppy. There's no space in between Tano and GL. The way they normally write this is Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano, if they want to make that distinction. Her name is just Ahsoka Tano, by the way. OG Ahsoka is Snips now, so you don't need to put parentheses GL. The acronyms that we make as a player base, and that you generally refer to things, I don't want to see them in game. I don't want Commander Luke Skywalker's name replaced with CLS. Like, I want it written out if it's technical writing, so that's just weird, but that's nitpicky. If Ahsoka is in the leader slot, she gains 25% turn meter and offense up for 2 turns. I guess when he uses a special. Then they didn't modify it with that specifically, but I guess it's whenever he uses special, she's getting turn meter and offense up, which is good. Whenever Hu Yang gains history of the galaxy, all allies gain 15% crit chance up to 45% and 20% offense up to 60% to the end of the battle. So this is going to be really strong. I don't know if you want to use this over a Datacron or support or a Datacron from the old set, but it's going to be really good. So this is probably the most worthwhile level 6 out there. And if you do have Ahsoka, you probably want to do that build. With that, I'd probably say this offense increase for them, just to double down on the increase, but that's only going to be for Hu Yang. It's not actually going to affect the Spectre. So yeah, I'd probably go with the roll related set until it's gone. So maybe for 1 season, this will be good. But just in general, it's not that good of a set. It's a pretty bad set. And just to close it out, to make matters worse, on top of being like lackluster abilities, lackluster stats, not great level 9s, not having focused datacrons for the set, You need to have your entire team at Relic 6 or higher to make use of the level 7 or 8 stats, or the level 9 ability. You need your whole team Relic 4 or higher to use the level 4 and 5, and then the level 6 ability, and then for level 1 through 3, you need the whole team at Relic 2. So we've been going in the other direction for a while, where it's more open, Gear 10, Gear 12, and Relic 1. But for some reason, they decided to make the threshold, the bottom threshold, higher than the previous max threshold. Inexplicable, it doesn't make sense. Between the bad writing, the random cadence change, the going backwards on like, it just makes no sense. It's like someone's over there that just came in, was just inserted into the system, didn't know anything about what was going on, and no one can challenge them, and they're just running a roughshod and breaking things. It doesn't make any sense. This needs to change. There's only one slight improvement they've made, so, and it's just weird. It doesn't make sense to me. So level 4, 5, and 6 to reroll, it costs 10 mats. Level 1, 2, and 3, it would cost 20. And then level 7, 8, 9, it would cost 20 of the rare piece that's hard to get. And whenever you increase the level, or whenever you have done 2 rerolls, it increases the cost of every type of reroll. So if you've done 2 rerolls, it should cost 40 for these, 20 for these, and then 40 for these. I think it will max out at a cost of 80 on the level 7 through 9, and a level 40 on a level 4 through 6. So I'd say your priority is definitely to reroll your stats at level 7 and 8, and then reroll everything else below. I don't think you need to worry about rerolling too much on your level 6s and level 3s. Just for like a few datacrons, you're not going to need a whole big set of this. I think you only want a handful of datacrons. Even high-end players, I don't think there's a ton to work with here, other than trying to build a huge protection cron. Other than that, you know, one of the most valuable things is just light side allies with 25% turn meter. That's still a valuable thing. But overall, this set is just complete garbage. I think it's one of the ones that's most skippable. And just kind of make use of this prior set that they messed up and gave us unlimited rerolls, which is just so fantastic. So let's show them that no one really, that the engagement is just way down on this set as a punishment, or just a negative feedback loop for reducing the duration. Decrease the cost, please. I mean, it's just a bad set. So this has been a different good, the bad, and the awesome. It's more like the good, the bad, and the poorly worded, or the crazy, the inexplicable. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, that'll be it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you later.